I'm Melton.
And I'm Nadia Greenwood.
And this is Hoofbeat News.
Hello FMHS, today is Monday, March 6th, 2023, and we are here to bring you another episode of...
To start off this broadcast, we will hear a little bit more about the fake school shooting phone calls that happen across the state.
Although this does not contain any audio from the placed phone calls, this can still be a topic that is concerning to people and is not something that should be taken lightly.
We're sitting in a meeting in Loveland. We have the Colorado Association of School Executives Winter Conference every year. This is my 25th year going to it, 26th year going to it. There were over 100 school districts from the state in the room at the time, and we were actually listening to Peyton Manning speaking. And when Peyton Manning got his last question, I got a phone call at about 9:36 from my secretary, Bev Morford, telling me that there was a situation at the high school and I needed to take a call from our resource officer from the middle school, Mr. Malone.
I was actually just outside of my office in the library hall, and it came over on my radio. It was dispatched through dispatch. They said that there was a person at the school and that shots were actively being fired at that moment. Oh crap! No, no. Honestly, it was just I don't want to say disbelief, but it was just just like every kind of get this heightened sense of awareness all of a sudden. Because the first thing I did was just started to listen, because the last thing you want to do is just get up, panic, and run, because you may be going in the wrong direction to actually help, if that makes sense. But yeah, so when I heard that, I went straight down the hall towards the commons area. I'm hearing nothing, seeing nothing, because you're paying attention. Okay, nobody's running, nobody's screaming, everything's quiet, everybody's going about their day. So I just basically just went on a fast walk down to the commons. Paid attention to the area where we're at now, actually, down the ag hall, and still nothing. And from there, I went down through the office, the main office, and then went over to the gym. That was my first response, was that. And during this time, I'm speaking with law enforcement that is responding on my radio and telling dispatch the things that I'm observing, or not observing, rather, that there was nothing at that moment. And then I also coordinated with the patrol units that were coming. Some advised the location that they were heading to, and another asked me where I would like him to stage, so I gave him a location outside of the school as a staging area for him.
As anyone's would be, it's at first, we got to move into action. We got to do something. We got to enact our protocols and make sure that we're doing this thing right. So it's an initial reaction of shock. It eventually turns into, what do we need to do at this point? And then it turns into, once you find out what's really going on, to absolute disgust. It was actually kind of a good thing that we were there, because at the time that we got the phone call, I actually saw about 3 or 4 other school districts get up and walk out of the room. And so within a very short amount of time, we had figured out that this was not, this was not a real situation. It was somebody that was calling it a prank, although we didn't treat it that way, because we want to take everybody's safety and security seriously. And so it was really good to be there to see that from that perspective. But what I actually did from there was, Mr. Anderson was actually out in the hallway with me. He was talking to his staff while I was talking to my staff out here at the District Support Center. And we were able to get some letters drafted that we're going to go out to the community to say this is what has happened. By then we had already figured out that it was a prank. And so we were trying to get ahead of it on Facebook to make sure that people understood that there was no threat to the students or the staff, and that it did in fact happen, and there was some pretty ugly language in there about shots being fired, but that was what came through on the phone call. So we had to put it out there. We're going to be transparent on those kinds of things. So.
And then, so once I was fairly secure in the thought that it wasn't an active shooter situation like was dispatched, it just didn't seem real based on what I was hearing. But anyway, so after I went to the gym and made sure that there was nothing going on in that area, I then responded to the ag building, to the ag shop. That's where some of the officers responded to. And then they came in through those doors, and all of the hallways and all the areas of the school were checked at that point. So then that was pretty much the end of it, except for, of course, all the reports and investigation and things that happens from there. My understanding is it's the FBI actually that is researching this farther, I guess investigating further to see if they can locate the source who did this. It happened at multiple locations. I think there were somewhere between 10 and 15 just in Colorado. And what's really odd is they were all called in alphabetical order, which is really odd. And there have been other states that have gone through this same situation.
It wouldn't have been any different if I was here or if I was there. I think Mr. Anderson might have a different response than that because he would have actually been in the building. But me being out here at the district support center, it would have been no different because I would have been doing what I need to do from here versus Loveland. And as we all know, you can always reach people by cell phone or text or anything like that. So we were able to I think, efficiently deal with the situation from where we were. What I would like to say is I get a lot of questions as to why we weren't put into lockdown. And that was a good question, and I had that question too, but after talking to Chief Sharp, I understood that Officer Gagliano figured out rather quickly that there was no threat at the high school, and that we figured out rather quickly that it was a prank. And so at that point, we knew we needed to treat it as such. We needed to treat it as a serious situation. The police wanted to come through and do a sweep. And at that point, I wish we would have been a little more clear to the student body about why people were walking around with their assault weapons and things like that, walking through the hallways. But they were truly there to just make sure that there was nothing really going on. And by that point, we had already known that. But again, it was just being extra cautious. And had we, in hindsight, that's something I personally wish we would have done is we would have at least sent a message to staff and students to say this is why we're doing this. But we didn't get the chance to do that until after the fact. I'd like to thank the administration that was here. I'd like to thank Vicki Davis for one. I'd like to thank Mr. Anderson for another, the Chief of Police, Fort Morgan PD, and the Sheriff's Department, and anyone else involved in this, because we're very thankful for their response time and their responding, but we're also very thankful that nothing catastrophic happened.
Thank you for that, Liam. Next, we will take a look into what it is like to be a principal at the Fort Morgan High School.
I haven't had a chance to shadow Mr. Campbell and see what it's like in his day.
This is Bob Campbell. He is our athletic director.
My name is Bob Campbell. I am the assistant principal and athletic and activities director here at the high school. What do I usually do in a day? I do a lot of scheduling for events and activities, answer a lot of emails, work on transfers for the league, students who are transferring from one school to another, do transfers for the league, discipline students when we have to. You having a good day?
Oh, just going to class, getting there on time too,
Right on. Got anything going on this weekend?
Just, what?
What?
I actually don't got a class. This is my hour that I come see my favorite AD.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
Perfect.
It's time now, so we get to check all the people that are leaving. See the people that aren't supposed to leave. We'll see what we can if we catch any.
He gets a lot done in a day.
Some of them are parents, and we obviously let them go.
Okay. Bob Bob is the best athletic director that we could have. He supports our student athletes. Go Bob.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So I had a woman call. They had an incident at a volleyball tournament that was held here on February 5th. So we're going to look at the camera and see if we can find the altercation.
If you see him, say hi.
Up next, a word from our sponsors.
Hi, my name is Jason. I'm the owner of Colorado Automotive Repair Service here in Fort Morgan on 724 Main Street. We specialize in the entire automotive industry. Any of your family vehicles we can service. We even do diesel repairs, clear up to high performance applications. We pride ourselves in quality work at affordable costs, and we try to take care of our community. We've been in business for almost 10 years now, and we have over 40 years of experience between me and the guys in the shop. So if you need anything, feel free to come to us.
Acapulco Bay, a family-owned restaurant with a little bit of everything. Be sure to come check it out Monday through Sunday. Open 8 a.m. till 9 p.m.
Thank you for making our show possible. Up next, Betsaida interviewed Chase.
Chase Romero is a very involved student. This week we sat with him to learn a bit more.
I'm a part of FFA, so ag. So I guess that's like an out-of-school kind of activity that I kind of involve myself in. Not a lot, but I still do. And baseball's coming up next week, and we've been practicing out of school. Used to do football. That was my other activity. The community and the environment about the whole thing, because, you know, a lot of people think that it's just about being on the field or, you know, playing the sport, but it's more or less about the family that you build and the trust that you build within like others, and then that's how further relationships come and such like that. It's just, I think there's a lot deeper meaning behind sports than most people look at, because people that come to watch, they come to watch the game. You know, some kids are out there playing because that's the only thing that they enjoy, and that's the only place that they feel welcome. It's the only place that they feel at home or safe. But yeah, no, I just think the sports are awesome, and it's better than what people make it out to be. Family. I come from a family of athletes, so it's more like I just kind of like, as growing up, you know, you kind of just get stuck into it and built into it because, you know, your cousins are athletes, you got older people to look up to. Dad played football, grandpa played football, my uncles played football, baseball, stuff like that. So it's like I already had a path set forth of me becoming that area. Not that I had to, but it's more or less that I wanted to, because I wanted to see what it was like, and I don't regret it at all, because doing it was definitely something I'm not going to regret. And probably that not all athletes and quote-unquote jocks are how people make them out to be, you know. A lot more friendly, you know, happy people, you know. It's also hard in a way. Like, teachers, I feel like, don't take that into consideration of what it means to be an athlete. They just think that, you know, they go to practice and run around and then learn a little bit, and then that's it. But being an athlete, you have to do a lot of personal work outside of that sport to help you become a better athlete and just person overall. It's more stressful than people really think it and make it out to be, because people think that they can just join and that'll be that. It's like, no, you really can't. You gotta have the mindset for it. You gotta build that, and you gotta be ready for it, because it's a lot different than what people make it out to be. So when athletes come to the school and everything, and they're drowsy, they're tired, they're sore, they don't want to be here, they're going to sleep, and then they get beat on because they're not paying attention or they don't know what's going on. It's because they're sitting there like, you know, they got barely any sleep or their body's aching, stuff like that. So I feel like that's what people need to understand. Entertainment, lifting, that's big. That's a big thing I do. And also just trying to uplift people. Like everywhere I go, you know, I always got a smile on my face, kind of want to be the person that kind of brings energy to the room and doesn't want to bring people down, but bring people up.
Let's see what his friends have to say about him.
I've known him for about since 5th grade. Chase is a good teammate. He's very helpful and nice. 2 pros about him. He's funny and he's chill. 2 bad things. He does stuff, and everyone goes along with it. Some things people don't know about him is that Chase is very down to earth.
I've known Chase since we were in the 5th grade. He is a very open person. He loves everybody and he likes to just hang out with everybody. He's really friendly and he'll make you feel welcome no matter the situation. My favorite thing about Chase is that he's always honest with you. He always tells you the truth and he'll never sugarcoat anything. Chase gives really good advice. A lot of people don't know that, but he'll always try to make the situation better and try to help you and lift the situation.
Chase Romero is a talented student. If you see him around, don't forget to say hi.
That's all we have for this week, FMHS. Have a good day and see you next week.